Доброго ранку, шановні колеги, колежанки. Сьогодні ми раді вітати вас на міжнародному методичному вебінарі «Кращі педагогічні практики у системі шкільної освіти в Швеції». І сьогодні цей вебінар я почну з організаційної частини, коротко розповім про нашу співпрацю зі Стокгольмським університетом і безпосередньо з викладачкою Стокгольмського університету Катею Венмарк-Нільссон. Hello, Katya. Again, we are very happy to welcome you to Ukraine, and our greetings from our academy, from our students and teaching staff. Мою частину я презентуватиму на українській мові для надання вам такої в певній мірі загальної інформації про напрями нашої співпраці, ну і безпосередньо про ту низку вебінарів, яка буде проводитися, і про такий перший вступний вебінар. А потім я передам слово пані Каті, і вона на англійській мові презентує вже таке безпосередньо методичне наповнення. І почати хотілося б з того, щоб коротко розповісти, навіть не коротко, а більш повно, ніж на екрані, я би хотіла розповісти про дійсно чудову викладачку, чудову професіоналку у сфері педагогічної освіти в Швеції, і ми дуже раді, що у нас є можливість і взагалі залучити пані Катю до нашого освітнього процесу і безпосередньо з нею співпрацювати. На сьогодні пані Катя працює на факультеті мовної дидактики в Стокгольмському університеті, вона є лекторкою, а також вона є керівницею напряму методичної роботи по підготовці майбутніх учителів шкіл Швеції. Тобто безпосередньо вона працює з майбутніми учителями, що є дуже і близько, і взагалі це дуже такий суміжний напрям, над яким ми будемо працювати. Якщо розповісти про Катю, у неї, я так, знаєте, можна українській мові їй, знаєте, як надати такий певний піар, вона надзвичайно багато працює, вона є дуже відомою в Швеції, не тільки як викладачка, а взагалі як, скажімо так, людина, професіонал, яка працює з майбутніми учителями. І окрім викладацької діяльності в університеті, вона має свою освітню фундацію KHN Education в Швеції. З цією фундацією вона працювала як в Швеції, так і в Німеччині. На сьогодні вона базується в Швеції. Вона має бекграунд по викладанню, тобто безпосередньо педагогічний досвід роботи учителькою в Швеції. Вона неодноразово була номінована спікеркою. Якщо перекладати на українську мову, то це такі певні, скажімо так, нагороди за вчителювання, освітні нагороди в Швеції, де вона виступала зі своїм таким кращим досвідом, презентувала цей досвід для учителів Швеції. Вона неодноразово отримувала стипендії, тобто освітні гранти на свою діяльність. Ви бачите, тут презентовані так у формі малюнків її педагогічні наробки, її книжки, які можна купити на шведській мові, і є переклад на англійську мову. Да? Також, що дуже цікаво якраз таки для нас, що пані Катя працює дуже активно над такими сучасними напрямами діджиталізації в освіті, і вона неодноразово була запрошеною спікеркою від компанії Microsoft за різними напрямами. Навіть у неї був такий певний освітній гайд-тур по Швеції, де вона відвідувала різні школи і розповідала, як можна на сьогодні осучаснити, тобто, скажімо так, як зануритися до інформаційного процесу, як поєднати це в освітньому середовищі, і навіть це було ще до цієї всесвітньої пандемії. А зараз такий напрям взагалі є дуже актуальним. Також пані Катя працювала лідеркою мовних турів на Мальті і в Німеччині, викладала англійську мову. І якщо говорити про нашу співпрацю і про те, що ми будемо робити на основі договірної співпраці. Ви зараз бачите скріншот сторінки грантового проєкту, який якраз таки ми плануємо спільно з нашими університетами розробляти. Це проєкт на реалізацію того методичного курсу для викладачів українських університетів, ну, безпосередньо нашої академії, для здобувачів вищої освіти по отриманню, ну, можна сказати, інформації, того базису необхідного для того, щоб використовувати кращі освітні практики, які існують в Швеції, якими активно користуються шведське освітнє середовище, шкільне середовище, для того, щоб ми цей досвід могли почерпнути і використовувати в своїй професійній діяльності. Тобто на сьогодні ідея така, що ми цей курс будемо, це тільки такий перший ознайомчий вступний вебінар до тієї великої роботи, яка буде проводитися. Ну і сподіваємося, що, звичайно, і наш проєкт реалізується успішно, і всі, хто сьогодні на перший вебінар долучився, будуть продовжувати отримати знання від пані Каті. І чесно, ми дуже раді, я особисто дуже рада, що у нас є на сьогодні така можливість Катю Венмарк-Нільссон, нехай в форматі онлайн, і сподіваємося, що і офлайн долучити до нашого освітнього процесу. І зараз я передаю слово пані Катерині, я її запрошую на англійську мову. Катя, are you here?
I'm here.
Yes, so the floor is yours. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. How do I say good morning in Ukrainian?
Доброго ранку.
Доброго ранку, everyone. The rest of the presentation will be in English, but this was the only Ukrainian that I know so far. All right, let me share my presentation here. Hold on.
Just tell me if you need any help.
No, I think I got it. It's just, here it is. Here we go. Can you see it now?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, this is my pretty picture before COVID, when we all started working from home in our pajamas. This is out and about in makeup, but you can choose which you want to look at. The camera is the real thing here. So some quick facts about me, so you know who I am as a presenter. I am from Sweden, and I currently work at Stockholm University. I have been working there for 2 years, and so I teach future teachers. And all of my students are grown-ups who are studying to become teachers for ages 6 to 9, as are you guys. So you guys have a lot in common, although you haven't met. Previously, I have been working in Swedish schools, both at high school level with older students, but also with younger students, ages 6 to 9. So I'm pretty broad in my experience from working in the Swedish school system, and that's why they hired me at Stockholm University, because I have worked with many different ages, and it goes well with the teacher program. And then I also have written 2 books. Unfortunately, they're only in Swedish, but this, because I had written those books I got to be a speaker at different teacher fairs throughout Sweden. So I have been traveling around and talked to teacher colleagues and made sort of inspirational workshops for people to get new ideas and hopefully feel even more competent in their work and broaden perspectives. So that's a little bit of who I am. And me and Juliana met over something called Ed Camp Ukraine, on which I was invited to be a guest speaker. And then Juliana reached out to me and asked, could you come and talk to my students as well? I think they would like it. And so here I am. And hopefully we can make these 5 workshops. And this is sort of to see if there's interest from you guys to hear about this, and for me to introduce in short what it is. Also, I hope you notice my Christmas theme here in the background. This was the best I could do in my little home here. I thought it might add a seasonal flavor. So, well, short about the Swedish school system, so you know a little bit about it, and I think you can then compare to the Ukrainian school system, which you know much about. So usually children go to kindergarten. You don't have to go to kindergarten, but it's very common because the parents want to go to their work, and then we have the daycare for children. And then at age 6, then kindergarten turns into more of a preparing for school theme. So at age 6, they start to practice reading a little bit and making the connection between the sound of the letter and the shape of the letter. So it's sort of a pre-reading activity. And then at age 7, the children start elementary school, and you have to go to that by law. Every child has to go. From age 7 onto age 15. So we have 9 grades in elementary school. So that's mandatory. And then very commonly you go over to high school. And you don't have to go to high school, but there are not so many options, you know, when you're 15. Not that many companies will hire a 15-year-old. So people will ask you, why didn't you go to high school? So it's not mandatory, but most people go. Yeah, and all their friends go. So it's sort of a natural development. And then you attend a program which is either theoretical, and then it can be more natural science oriented or social studies oriented, or you go to a practical program to become a hairdresser or an actor or a musician or electrician. So it's more that the first ones where you study natural science or social studies, that's more preparing you for university, whereas the other side, the more practical programs, are preparing you for a profession, which you can then start immediately after high school. Yeah, so we can say it's 2 branches of high school. And then after that is university. Many people go to university because it's free. It's free to attend university, and you can have a student loan. So you can finance your own studies, so you take a loan from the state, and then you pay it back over the years, but you don't pay back so much every year. So it's pretty manageable, and I would say most people have that that went to university. Yeah, so all education is free, and at least in theory, all the schools should be equally good. It shouldn't matter which school you went to, in theory, and then we can discuss, is it really like that in real life? Are the schools always equally good? Well, maybe that can have to do with the teachers and stuff, and so, but financially they are all alike, so it shouldn't matter which school you go to. Let's see here. So that was short about the school system, and something else that might be good for you to know when taking this workshop is the sort of philosophy behind the thinking and behind the planning. And in Sweden, the dominant pedagogical theory, of course, there are a few pedagogical theories, but the dominant one here is called the socio-cultural perspective. And now I'm not sure how, if you study that, maybe Juliana can nod if you studied that at the Ukrainian teacher program.
Yes, it's quite similar. Yes,
yeah. I was guessing, but I didn't know for sure. But so some characteristics of the social cultural perspective, which you then know, but I just repeat so you have it in your head right now. The key is learning and developing in a social environment. So we try to make the students interact with each other, interact with the teacher all the time. And we try to have a so-called high pupil activity, which is not like this when I talk all the time, but throwing the word out in the classroom so that they talk as much as the teachers, pretty much. Dialogue is very encouraged. Many voices should be heard in the classroom. Critical thinking is encouraged, so they should not just repeat what they heard. They should also be able to make their own opinions and develop their own thought process. Of course, I should add, with the lower ages, when you learn, for instance, the basics of reading, then it is a lot of repeating the alphabet and how do you write the letters and such, of course. But the more advanced the students get, the more we try to make them reflect and have opinions and throw something back. Like that. Also, something called metacognition, where you try to make the pupils think about how they think. So understanding your own thought process and verbalizing it, putting words on how did you thought get where it is now? How did you think when you solved this math problem? Not just solve it, actually explain how did you think when you did this? Yeah, so they learn to think about how they think. And moreover, we try to work a lot with, it's called formative assessment, so that they should understand the reason for the grade they get. not just get the grade, but also understand why is it this grade and not another one. And then see what do you miss to be one level up, so we can open up for future improvement. And you try to be pretty precise there as a teacher to make them understand what they should look after and what the assignment is really about. So make them aware of their learning, both during the learning process and after, when it's when you're grading it, where are they now and where should they aim to be. And the last one I wrote here is peer coaching. So we try to train the students to give each other feedback, and it could be something simple like 2 stars and a wish. Like if somebody made a presentation, then everyone gets to say 2 things that they really liked about that presentation, and then maybe the teacher will say the wish, like how can we improve till next time. So that's also a strategy to work with the learning within the learning. Yeah, so then here is a model for communication in the classroom, just to clarify a little bit how I mean here. So you see at letter A, then it's only the teacher is talking to the students and giving instructions. But in B, we advance so that the students are giving something back. There's the dialogue between the teacher and the student, back and forth. But in C, then the students will also reflect and talk to one another, so they will be involved in the work and hopefully help each other, and they can talk in small groups, and the teacher is not always there to oversee the process. Okay, I'm looking at the watch and I think I should go over to describe the different workshops. So there are 5 workshops that are thought out for this, and the form is that a workshop should be 1 hour, which is workshop where there's information but also some discussions among you, just to use this sociocultural perspective where you learn together. So 60-minute workshop, and then 30-minute questions and answers, and then you can ask anything pretty much. So, and we will also have I think a translator then. So then if you are more comfortable asking or writing your question in Ukrainian, then we have a person who can translate that to me. And if it's something that's difficult to understand from which I'm saying in English, then the translator will be there to help. The dates have yet to be set because we need to see if we get this economical support, and then we will plan which dates it is. So we don't know that yet. And the following themes, 5 different workshops, and we try to make it like in Sweden we call it a smorgasbord, which is like a table where you have different kinds of food, so everyone will find something that they like, and maybe you will like all of it, who knows. Hopefully, I hope that you will. So the first one is called The Power of Props and Mysteries, and that's about creating interest to motivate students in the introduction phase of a new project. How do we start up a project? How do we make them interested from the start? Because if they are interested from the start, then they will be like a motor throughout the project, and you don't have to lift so heavy or pull hard. They will drive it. And then second, it's called Outside Pedagogics, and that's how you can maybe take the students out of the classroom sometimes and just change environment and see a little bit how what they learn in the class from the books, how that can be applied in real life situations. Maybe you take, if you have math and you're gonna go through measurements, maybe you take your measurements and you go out in nature and you measure a tree, and then you can calculate how long is the circle, what's the diameter of this tree, stuff like that. And then the third one is theme-based planning and project-oriented learning. It's a long name, but it's something that we work with quite a lot in Sweden. And that's because, well, we have these subjects that are, well, you have math, and then you have language, and then you have a different subject, social studies, and then you have natural science. But here we try to mix them up a little bit so that the students will see, well, in the real world is not categorized like that. It will all come together in your life. And here's some example when we work with a few of these at the same time. And that's also fun for the teachers, usually when I can contribute my piece of the cake, and my colleagues will bring something else. And then fourth one is book talk, and there, because reading is so difficult for some people and easy for other people, and how do we make them talk about the text and reflect and take something with them and be curious to read. That can really help all the students to motivate them and see what the text is really about. Some strategies for that. And fifth one, I try to bring out a digital element, because that's also very big, I think, in all schools. But I think we might work with it a little bit different depending on what resources we have and what apps we use. And there are constantly new apps on the market. And maybe that's interesting for you to see how we work with that in Sweden. Yeah, so we have 3 minutes left. I could, of course, talk all that time too, but I thought maybe Juliana want to pitch in and sort of close the meeting. My last picture was only this. That's all for today. I hope to see you soon. And if you want to connect or ask questions, or you have thoughts or something, I gave out my Instagram address because it's really the only social media that I use. It's my private one, but I don't really care. If you want to write something, you may. Yeah, over to you, Juliana.
Yes, dear Katya, thank you so much. It was really interesting. Of course, we worked with this before, but I mean, I just hope that our dreams will come true and we will make this webinar together. Thank you so much for your time, for this interesting pedagogical webinar. And дорогі колеги, дуже дякуємо за ваш час, за те, що доєдналися. Я сподіваюся, що це було цікаво. І, звичайно, я, скажімо так, свою думку виразила і пані Катерині. І чекаємо на продовження. Katya, thank you so much. We are wishing you a good day. And how is the weather in Sweden?
Oh, it's cold. It's cold. This is why, look at my cardigan. It's so thick. And I'm inside in my apartment, so yeah.
It's almost the same here, but it's, you know, it's almost winter, so basically what you can expect. Thank you so much, and we are wishing you a nice day.
Well, thank you. And thank you to all the students. I didn't hear your voices now, but I hope to in the future.
They're silent, but they're listening. It's not only students, our pedagogical staff, teaching staff is here as well.
Ah, okay, okay. I didn't know.
Yes, yes. We had like 45 people. So
Ooh, very nice. I didn't even look at the number. I was so in this.
yeah.
Okay, well, I will leave you now, and then Juliana might have some closing words. I don't know. But goodbye, everyone, and so nice to meet you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Дорогі колеги, дуже дякуємо і бажаємо вам гарного продовження робочого дня. Дякуємо.
Дякуємо. Дякуємо навзаєм.